Hello, skis.
Oh,
It is I, your King Ginger. It is Sunday morning. Hi.
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 Oh,
Uh, so I was just gonna comment on how I was just gonna comment on how sometimes you just like get a action figure that is so like mind-breakingly better than any other version of it before, and for me it was this Thor from the like Oliver Copiol run.
Yeah, it's a great
Um,
figure.
Diamond Select, yeah.
and I literally like went to like pick it up and the fucking head broke off. Like literally the
The
plastic
pick,
tag
yeah,
is
well,
seared.
Sometimes,
I am like
sometimes you make something and it turns out real fucking
I
good.
am crestfallen.
Sometimes it turns
Oh,
out real good.
hello. Look at that bad boy.
ooh. See, those feet paid off. I feel like they did.
They definitely paid off. I was telling Beard I had to go in and do a lot of repainting on the tabard and stuff because McFarlane just doesn't believe in painting the backs
No.
or the bones or a bunch of details. So I did a
Yeah.
bunch of that yesterday. I was like, oh man, I kind of want to figure out like some type of shoulder thing, but I kind of also don't. Also, this Mythic Legions
Mhm.
belt piece
Yeah.
was also like just flat bullshit.
I think they might do that for some of like the add-on kit stuff, but
And I went in and painted it up. Although, again, my camera's like, I don't like you.
So
So yeah, I went in and painted it up, and it turned out pretty good. That's not what I want. I want I want show picture,
what?
but can't remember how show picture.
Which picture? This guy?
There.
Yeah, just it's the one with just the singular person all the way on the left. Solo
Yeah.
layout.
Is that it? Can you see it? Big
Yeah.
is it embiggened?
It's sick. Yeah.
So yeah, and I took the arm pieces off that Thor. Oh, this one got a little bit torn up. So I'm still working on it. I'm not completely satisfied with him yet, but I got to work with this sword again. McFarlane, what the fuck, man? Do something. Give it a wash.
mm-mm.
Just do something. Although I'm getting very happy with how this is turning out. All right, sorry. I just wanted to share that before Tuesday, just in case.
Yep. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mitch. Hi, Spike.
Mm.
Shaggy, I know, is a big maybe because he's got business to take care of, baby. All right. So, first of all, who are you guys? And why? Introduce yourself.
I'm Matt. I'm real off the game of late
It's
for a
okay,
lot of
man.
reasons. And hopefully someday I'll feel normal again.
Oh no!
It will happen. I got a feeling.
So tonight's gonna be a good night.
You son of a bitch.
Mhm.
Oh no.
It's kind of
I'm
special.
the disembodied head of Thor. Ooh. No, I'm business
Um,
beard. I'm wearing a clip-on tie.
yes. Thank you, Mitch, for enjoying my hair. Um, it's still wet, so we'll see. Um, yeah, we went and saw. I've been meaning to get a haircut for a while, and we went and saw The Thing. And Danny was like, "What do you think if I did your hair like McGreedy's?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Nice.
So we kind of went that way, and yeah, it's not quite that, but it's not far off. And right now, I'm just trying to dig through some parts here because I need to sell some things.
Sure. Yeah, you're. Yes, I agree. Hair look good.
Well, thank you guys. I will let Danny know that
You need a big old sombrero. and some sunglasses.
I don't know that I do.
If you're gonna McCready it up, you do.
That's true.
And you need a big old bottle of J&B, even if it's not full. Just
That sounds pretty good right about now. I'll tell you.
I mean, we're not living in an Italian horror movie, but I mean, if it is an Italian horror movie, you do need a bottle of J&B. It is law. Not even horror, just an Italian movie. Sponsored by J&B. So I woke up this morning at 6:45 in tremendous discomfort.
Oh no!
So I didn't have coffee this morning, so I'm taking a page out of Beard's playbook, and I'm having some tea because my gut hurt so bad this morning. I could not figure out why. It's just unpleasant. All right, so let's I'm trying to kind of figure out how to continue to integrate some of this into a Power by the Apocalypse system. So my idea was, you start off with a certain score, and here it's Bloodline. I'm just using source code as a placeholder. But I'm trying to figure out how. In fact, I think we're going to switch this and not have rolls. Oh, it should be a 3. Okay. But I'm trying to figure out, what do you get? What is the end goal of killing other people who have that source code in them? Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Mitch. I don't disagree with that at all. It's just which Italian horror movie or which Italian apocalyptic fever dream, like what's the one Mystery Science Theater did that's so great? It's something to do with the Bronx.
Oh,
it says Escape the Bronx.
I mean, that's in
that subgenre
a lot. I can't remember if it's I think that one's Escape 2000, but it might also be, because I think that's the sequel to.
It's got trash in it. That's the dude.
It's got trash. Yeah, I think that one's like a sequel to another one, which Rift Raff.
It is. I think it is Escape from the Bronx.
I gotta look this up now.
That's what I'm doing right now.
It's
Escape 2000. It's
Escape 2000. But Escape 2000 is
the sequel, I believe, to
sequel to
Escape 1999.
Is that what it is?
No. Sorry. I'm the last person you should ever trust about anything.
I do believe, we needed a killer goblin score. And as far as stuff, I'm always kind of like, eh.
Okay, so it's Escape 2000, also released as Escape from the Bronx, Warriors 2, and it is the sequel to 1990, The Bronx Warriors.
God damn it! Like, we had all the words.
We did.
Like a Mad Lib, but we just didn't have the right order of them.
And The Bronx Warriors, honestly, is I gotta watch that one again, the riff tracks, because that one's got that one's like way more the Warriors, with all the different themed gangs and stuff, which you see glimpses of in Escape 2000, but they don't really get into. Anyway,
that is the guy who goes, "Shut up."
Yeah, Toblerone.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say Toblerone?
Yeah.
His name in the movie is like Dablone or something like that. So
I just said Toblerone, and I was like,
immediately they latch on to it.
Goblin comes on my playlist.
I love Toblerone. He's got such a zest for life.
He does. Shut up. He's like fucking Adam Sandler.
He's always laughing.
Proto Sandler.
Anyway.
So I'm also thinking, maybe a power, and just use some of these like spelly boys as like and translate them over, but that seems like a lot of work. Like a lot of work. A lot.
A lot of work.
What if they were granted some sort of like boon? Like,
Well, since you're like taking someone's blood, I kind of feel like it has to be something you have permanent access to. But
maybe it's like everyone has some sort of like vessel, you know, like that there is something to like having those bottles, like a channel. I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, are you thinking like a permanent,
like a once per
modifier?
session, like a once per session ability?
Yeah. I mean, could you, the stronger you get, then be able to find other people better? Like, could you once a day, you know, roll whatever?
Well, if I kill like a bunch of guys who have the source code, I could have a bunch of different once per days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
kind of feel like taking from this and just
so like if
like I'm interested in some of these. Like I like the idea of like alertness.
do the players get a power as a result of their position and or role?
Yeah, I mean that's part of build though.
Well, right, but so maybe if by killing one you get one of those powers, maybe in a lesser form, or so kind of like, you know, you can multi-class almost by jacking other people's abilities. I don't know.
Yeah, this is something to think of. Like I like the idea of like a shadow form. I love the idea of regeneration. Like fast travel. That would be awesome. Give me your shit. Snatch's ability, no witnesses.
Yeah. See?
No witnesses. I mean, are these people all? I don't know.
Boy, we're all just really doing well with our imaginations today.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to like get into thinking about this, and I only kind of like did the cursory listen to the last time you guys did this, so I'm trying to like wrap my head around what it is.
You're fine. I'm struggling this morning.
I mean, should we pop to something else in here, or is there something else you've been thinking about?
Sure. Let's
Or do you have any other games you're cooking up?
I don't dislike the idea of, like, you know, the Mega Man style, like you defeat so and so and you get their power. But
yeah, I kind of like that as well. I like it even more when you say it's Mega Man style.
yeah, for real. I don't know.
Because I got lots of thoughts on Mega Man. Oh, hey, look at those cute boys.
They are cute boys.
Like my heart aflutter. That's whole crew, man. That's whole crew.
That's been a minute.
Yeah. Ooh.
I can think of last time I saw Joel.
I know you get an ability by loading it in your random access memory once per day, like a temporary source code infection. Spike said at least isn't Kirby style fucking inhaling fallen enemies.
I mean, I'm not against that either.
What's a lazy prep?
Vacuum them all up.
Why do I have? I thought I had stuff. Okay, I do have some. I think this is pretty ready. That's ready. Bone saw's ready.
It's ready.
Let's just chit chat because I don't have anything else
Yeah.
to really work on today.
That's fine.
All right.
I'm struggling, so my apologies there, everybody.
Look how pretty
Oh.
we are. Look at this.
I don't think the chat skis is going to hold against you, and we sure shit aren't.
No.
Yeah, it's frustrating to like really hit a mental block today.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have heard more than enough about my bullshit, so I'm not going to belabor the point. But I'm not anywhere near where I want to be functionally. So
Yeah.
it's just.
I feel like looking at your guys' collections and like Ben, all the changes you made to that room, I'm so jealous. I'm like looking around and I keep finding like more and more, figures that I've like carefully packed away, as I moved or like as I was moving stuff around when I had that flood in my basement. And I'm like, I have no place for these anywhere. And I like really would like to figure that out. It's just there's still so much stuff to sort through. It's like
I also painted this last night. I just haven't drilled it out.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, Cassandra figured out a good paint match. I wish you could do it for the skin color because I'm also trying to get this to match, and then I got to do the neck piece though too. So,
oh damn,
Yeah.
that's beauty. What's that head from?
it's a beast head.
Oh, cool.
Well, that must be one of those casting cave or cast. It's a cast, I know, because I've had a few of those floating around.
Yeah,
It was a current jam.
yeah.
Oh, you know what I wanted to talk to you guys about is I started listening to a new live play that I think is one of the funnier ones that I've seen in a while, and it is called Dungeons and Daddies. Have you?
Yeah, I've listened to Dungeons and Daddies before. It's pretty good.
I really enjoy it. So, if people are unfamiliar, it's basically like podcast format, and it's about four dads from our world that get transported into like a realm of fantasy and magic to rescue their sons, and it's real funny. Like all of them have. I mean, it's very much in the same vein as Mamimbam. The kind of what was the game that they played? The dads.
Oh, Deadlands.
Yeah, Dadlands. It's kind of all of the dads are kind of like certain type of dad. Like stoner dad, like stepdad. Kind of
There's
super minivan dad.
There's a new Dadlands live, but I have not heard it yet. But apparently, rumor has it that they play part of the game is they play cornhole on stage, and I kind of am like
amazing.
real fucking psyched about this.
Yeah.
To a very, very unnatural degree.
Like
I want to know how Brennan got them to a point where they agreed to be like, yeah, we'll play cornhole on stage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Well,
he is Brennan, so
yeah. So yeah, I know it's been good. I've also been like hankering, like since I got that B-wing like custom that my brother did of me. I'm like, I'm really hankering to play squadrons when we get people together for squadrons for bad squadrons, and I'm also like, kind of like, oh man, I kind of want to look into some of the like Star Wars modules where they did like Rogue Squadron stuff.
Which game though?
Any of them. I just like, and this is the thing. It's kind of like, I don't think that, like any of us are necessarily going to run modules from the old games, but it also just makes me kind of want to go back and read more, or like, I don't know if you read any of the new Alphabet Squadron novels, but those are pretty good as well.
I listened to 2 of them, like audiobooks. They were good.
How did you like them?
They're pretty good. I mean, I was not like blown away or anything, but I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is entertaining.
It's
I really like the old Alphabet Squadron stuff though.
yeah.
Or not the old Rogue
Rogue.
Squadron stuff.
Yeah. So, also I found back in the day, as you know, King has a plethora of both figures and tiny Ming, and he shit downloaded Squadrons and I'm bad. I'm in. Shaggy, you are
Hell
so
yeah.
in, my dude. Yes. Oh man, hell yeah. Oh, not a B-wing custom. He made me a custom B-wing pilot. I'll have to turn the background to blur. Same Shaggy. I was bummed that Fallout 76 and cross-platform with Squadrons, and so I mean, if you'll have me Spike. Yes.
I am actually also going to be playing Fallout 76.
Oh.
Someone got me that as just a very kind gift. And I am very intrigued to play it, but I also don't want to play it by myself because I am real bad at first-person games. So,
I don't understand why my thing will never freaking
focus.
Yeah, it's
makes me so angry. But anyway, custom B-wing gave me a custom scarf because I was wearing a scarf, but you know, got a nice little salt and pepper beard, and I also have a B-wing.
Man, it looks good. It doesn't look as good as you as a He-Man character, but I mean, it looks.
Yeah. It's a it's a worthy.
I mean, it's pretty good.
It's pretty.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Have fun, Shaggy.
Bye,
Yes,
Shaggy.
You people in your Star Wars. Thanks, Rich. Yeah, I suppose I could take like a picture of it and then bring the picture up, huh?
Yeah, I mean that also works.
And
yeah, I'm down for that. I have a hankering to run Star Wars right now, real bad, but I don't know what I would do. I'm kind of just in a.
it's a funky time of the year. You've got your.
It's the most funkiest time.
You've got your shit you're dealing with.
I'm in this weird like spot where my brain is kind of just fumbling.
Every day I'm fumbling. Yeah, no, I'm not out of I don't disagree with you. I'm feeling just off especially this last.
Well, you've got a reason.
Well, yeah, but this shit always just
business the baby.
This shit always just gets to me more than it does other people, it seems like. I don't know.
Oh no, that shit would put me in full blown panic mode.
And it's like, all right, I'm gonna go rent a car that I probably don't have to, just so I feel like I've got some kind of control. And it's like, is it worth that much money? I don't know. I guess I'm doing it anyway. So
yeah.
To me, that just like peace of mind is so big, and I never used to do it. I used to just kind of like stick it out, but I was like, man, I know that this is going to be in some ways like almost as expensive, as some of the other stuff that I could be doing, but yeah, just to not like worry about it, like just changes the rest of my mindset. So
yeah, I mean, well, it's just there's still so many different things that are up in the air right now, that, and I just don't feel like I'm on solid ground right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's understandable.
Well, I mean, oh wow, yeah, that's great.
That is great.
It's very fun.
It's not as good as your He-Man guy, but it's pretty good.
pretty good.
And you guys can tell. You can tell David I said that.
I might be seeing him this
afternoon. Like, oh shit! Ben talked a bunch of trash on you. Said your mod was just okay. It was pretty. He said it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Pretty good. I had a guy I used to work with who every time I would see him, I ran his program. I would come in and I would be like, "How are you doing today, so and so?" And he'll go, "P good." So one of my coworkers, another director, she and I, whenever we would see each other, she would be like, "How's so and so doing?" And I'd be like, "P good, P good." And so she made me, and this is how old this is. She made me a jam CD for work. It was called P Good, P Good. And then we were in my car, and I was taking him to an appointment and to a psych appointment, and he was asking if he could change the CD, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with that, man," because this is someone who used to get aggressive in the car.
Yeah.
And he looks down and he sees that there's a CD called P Good, and he goes, "What this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's my P Good CD." And he's like, "Are these my-" Basically, I'm not gonna do the voice anymore. He's like, "Are these my songs?" And I was like, "No, this is not your CD. Someone made this for me." And he was like, "Can I keep it?" And I was like, "No." Well, I say pretty good. I'm like, "I know you say pretty good all the time. This is not yours. I'll make you a copy though." So he was super excited that we had a CD called Pretty Good, and he liked all the songs on it. But I think he liked them because it was called Pretty Good, not because of the songs. Actually, I don't know why I'm telling that story.
Hey, sometimes you gotta take what you can get, man.
Yeah, it was like I only had him attack me in the car twice, and both times I just yanked down the seat relaxer, the seat recliner, and because of his weight, he could not set up to hit me. So he just had to lay there, and I'll be like, "Yep, this is what we're doing now." So
save your yanking down the seat relaxer for the late night streams, man.
Yeah. He grabbed my steering wheel one time in traffic on 77 and almost got me in an accident. And I was like, "What are you doing?" Because no one had told me he had a history of doing that.
You got to make sure you put that in the notes.
Information.
It wasn't in his paperwork from the county.
And
I was like,
you want to highlight that. That's.
I was like, "Hey guys, we had an issue today. the person that you gave us and we did the intake with, he grabbed the steering wheel of a car. Has that ever happened before? Because that seemed it wasn't in any of the paperwork before we did the intake." And the case manager was like, "Oh yeah, that's happened before." And I was like, "Oh, that's fascinating." Because that wasn't in any of the fucking paperwork. What else has he done before that I am unaware of?
I'm positive King made sure it was in there after. Midge.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was not very happy. But it is what it is. I very much enjoyed that guy. And his roommate was awesome too. And he burned down the deck at the house. Because we were making him smoke outside, and he was pissed off because he would not empty the cigarette thing, and that was like, "Hey man, you're the only person who smokes here.
Okay.
This is your responsibility." And he didn't do it, and he just kept stuffing them in there, and he set a fire. And then he was real mad about it, and we were like, "So that is like your thing. Like you keep saying like I shouldn't have all these rules. I'm an adult, and I agree with you. But when we give you an adult responsibility and you like just don't do it, and then almost burn down your home, like, sorry, brother, that's just like
that's on you.
That's not for you, Daddy. That's for somebody else."
Yeah.
I did love working with those guys, though. They were a blast. I saw behaviors and disorders there that I'd never seen before. God, I can't remember what it's called technically, but I saw somebody get water drunk there. Which was a thing I did not know that could happen.
Yeah, that's wild.
And because they were so like kind of addicted to that, I caught them drinking out of because we had to control the water and do controlled water intake. We caught them drinking out of the back of the toilet.
Wow.
Also, at one point, caught them running the bath for themselves and just sitting in the bath and drinking the bath water.
Jeez.
And I was like, whoa, this is some shit I have not seen before. It's kind of amazing. I want to learn about your stuff. So I did. It was cool.
Very unrelated to that. I feel like you might need to track one of these down, Ben.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I've often contemplated just trying to get the outfit even.
Yeah, let me see how well it works on
a Motu Boy.
Yeah, I think the head would scale really nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty figure.
Because I got the previous one they did like a year or two ago as a Target exclusive, and that's the ECW gear. So it's just like the silvery and gray flames, which isn't nearly as fun. You gotta give me the crazy. But yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, water drunk. It was quite
I had not
quite the deal. And I went to a person that was like a doctor and was like asking them about it because I was like, okay, I didn't know this was a thing. Explain all this to me. And they were like, oh yeah, people kill themselves this way. You can die from this. And I was like, oh, good Lord.
Wow.
Tell me more. And then he was like telling me about, I remember this because I also remember it happening, not like to the person or anything, but a lady did a contest. I think it was in California
for a
Wii. It killed her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's what happened. You can literally drink water to the point where it kills you.
Yep. Well,
and I was like, that is
drink so much water, and then the whole idea was like hold it for as long as you can.
Oh.
That is buck wild.
Like don't Wii to win a Wii. I think it was like kind of like how it was, and it was when those were super hard to get, And yeah, she died.
Wow.
That was not good for her, Daddy. It was bad news.
Seriously. Woof.
Woof. Woof indeed. Count Woofula.
Count Woofula.
You guys ever just can't find anything you want? And you're just like looking and looking and looking, and you're like, why?
I mean, yes.
Why can't I see when am I going to see the sailboat?
This morning, even just like, hey, I know I have this thing. Why can't I find it?
Yeah. I am just a mess today. I don't know why.
Oh no, it's.
But I don't know. I don't know why. I want to know why, and I want to know why I'm such a tired boy, full of tired energy.
Well, you said you didn't sleep super well, right?
I didn't sleep very much either. Yeah.
So
I did finish audiobook, which would made me happy. I did finish the first Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser book, which I'd read before.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's Swords and Deviltry I finished.
Okay.
And I'd already started another book. I'd started a Felix and Gotrek book.
All right, so there you go.
It was good. Oh, look at that.
So, I mean, it's very hollow in here, but you can
that's
fill
it in. Well, if the Typhoon, if I ever get my hands on a Typhoon, then it won't.
Yeah, it might work well on that, but you could just fill that in too,
Yeah.
But it scales well.
It does scale well. And I do like the Bam Bam head.
Yeah, the head seems like it would be, I'll just compare it to this JYD. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I like me some Bam Bam, so... If you see one on the reasonable, let me know.
These haven't hit stores that I've seen. I actually got this one from BBTS because I was putting in another order with them.
I did some pre-ordering on BBTS the other day. Those animal dudes. What is it, like Animal Kingdom Warrior? Animal Warriors of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
I did the head packs.
Nice.
So you might be getting some heads from me, Matthew.
All right.
Also, This beast is yours.
Oh Lord.
Also, I have to take this monstrosity apart. I just want the chest piece.
Oh.
And you're getting it too. He's like, oh yeah, Martha, Martha.
That's straight up Miller there.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, I don't know. I've been prepping for the swap in 2 weeks here, and I'm selling all kinds of stuff. I'll tell you that. Super Spike, the 3 3/4 or the Mission Fleet or whatever the hell the new one is.
I want to put out there too. I have, and I don't know when I ended up with it. I have a 3.75 2-pack of Jane Foster Thor and regular Unworthy Thor.
Oh,
Don't know where it came from. Don't know why I have it, but I'd like to get rid of it. So if anyone just wants it, I'm more than happy to just give it to them.
You said Jane Foster Thor?
And Unworthy Thor, like it's a 2-pack.
Yeah, it came out.
I don't know why I have it. Like I don't know.
My guess is you bought it for parts, not realizing they were 4-inch figures, but
Could very well be the truth.
I could be wrong.
You're probably not wrong, Matt. You're probably right.
You're right. That's what that new one is called. That's right.
You're right most of the time.
No, that's definitely not true.
Matthew. Matthew, please.
I ain't right now. I'll tell you that much.
You are my friend. You're a good egg, full of good energies.
My big BBTS box yesterday. I got this bad boy.
Oh,
blah 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 blah.
He looks so good.
Yeah, he's really good. Actually, that reminds me. I've got a.
He looks good enough to eat the wasp.
I've got nope.
Thank you, Mark Mealer, Kirby Butthole Man.
That was actually Loeb.
Yeah.
Was it Jeff Loeb did that monstrosity?
That Ultimatum series? Oh yeah, he really just was like, all right, if this is what you want. And then
Loeb gonna give it to you.
Oh, you got the 5-pack?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, just that pure Joe Quesada ridiculousness.
Hell
I already put a vest on pretty
Whatever happened to that guy?
Random?
No,
Joe Quesada.
I mean, seriously, I know he's no longer with Marvel.
He's got something going on now. I've seen him. He's doing like, I think he directed a movie or produced a movie or something. So he's still just kind of out there doing his thing.
It's like, did somehow Bendis get him work at DC?
No, he does. I think he's done some covers and stuff here and there, but he's mostly just like, I think he's just doing like Hollywood.
I mean, because I watched a deal where someone was like trying to tell me and the internet how the Avengers were nothing before Bendis. And I was like, man, that's some fucking hyperbole beyond hyperbole.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they weren't in the best place before Bendo got there. But that had little to do with the book and more to do with the management of the line.
Well, I mean, it was super big when Busick and Perez.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
it was like huge. Like, well, I mean, they shot themselves in the foot doing Heroes Reborn, but when they came back, that was like one of the biggest books. That was like a 10-pull book. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it didn't do the numbers that I assume it did, but
it did really good numbers.
That read.
Yeah, like, I mean, you don't keep a team on a book for like 60 years if it's not selling.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it was just kind of like, man, is this? So I wanted to ask this question since we're just chit chatting today. Is it just me, or is there a disconnect time-wise with like the consumption of media by content creators who don't like who haven't watched older or read older things, where they're just like, this thing is fact because I say it's fact.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I think that's always been true.
Because I see that more and more lately.
I mean, I think it's easier to encounter those opinions now because the people have the ability to put them out there and they can gain traction and all that stuff. Whereas before it was somebody with their photocopied fanzine or whatever, sending it through the mail or just acting like a fool at the comic shop. So you could just be like, oh yeah, screw this guy. But now they've got like, here's my YouTube channel and it got popular for something. And maybe I do know what I'm talking about, or I'm good at what I do, but also my experience is limited. So, you know,
yeah, I'm just like amazed by that. Kind of like you see some of those folks, and I mean, occasionally I'll even get so interested to see their perspective, and I will message and be like, "Hey, by any chance have you ever read or watched or whatever this?" And they're like, "Nope." And I'm like, "Well, then how can you say that this is the pinnacle of this or whatever?"
Well, I've seen plenty of, he just posted about it like last week on Twitter, Dan Slott saying, I got a lot more of these a few years ago, but I still get them now of people sending him messages or, or posting things and tagging him and saying, I have to apologize. Anybody who says Dan Slott doesn't understand Spider-Man, doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, you need to read these titles. Like, I apologize. I had a wrong opinion based on, plot descriptions I read or videos I saw or blurbs or whatever. And anytime anybody pulls a solicit or whatever and is like, well, this is trash. It's like, it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah,
like,
you didn't read the book, so how can you say it's trash?
Like, I totally understand you. Like, I can look at a solicit and say, this doesn't sound like it's for me.
Yeah.
I don't have interest in reading this either based on what they're saying here or the creative team involved.
See the X books.
Or whatever. And then there's other times where I'll be like, I don't know about this, but I like the people involved, so I'm going to give it a chance. Or, like if people start saying like, no, this is actually really, really good, I'll still give it a shot. Like, and yeah, there'll still be times where I'm like, yeah, that's not really my cup of tea. But
see the X books.
They're so good right now. Oh my god.
I'm just giving you shit because I don't quite get what they're going for. I mean, but I do applaud is the ambition.
It's wild as hell.
Like they are telling some massive stories, and they're not doing it in a fashion where you have to purchase every book in the Marvel Universe to do so. That I think it's like an ongoing event within one like set of books, which I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Stuff weaves in and out. They tend to all kind of like, they'll do their own thing for like 6 months or a year, and then they kind of come back together for these, events that kind of shake up the status quo again a little bit more.
So what happened with them and the Eternals? Is that over now?
That is over now. The Eternals and the X-Men went to war, and it was basically political maneuvering by Druig, who had won leadership of the Eternals. And he's like, well, as a new leader, the one way to make sure I cement my power is if we go to war.
That's not an untrue fucking
statement. And it backfired horribly. And they I can't remember.
Didn't they like Kronos out of like his eternal jail?
They sure did.
Oh my god.
Oh well, he really fucked up Araco. He basically killed most of the mutants living on Mars. They're like, we're going to release him for an hour. But as part of the peace agreement at the end of the whole thing, Araco now gets to use Uranus for an hour at some point in the future.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's basically just a living weapon now.
Yeah. I mean, he's Thanos' grandpappy. And Anyway,
the cosmic apple don't fall from the cosmic tree.
And it was, I mean, it's been, well, that was, no, it was Thanos took over the leadership of the Eternals from Druig, or anyway, it was a whole thing. But
so Thanos is now the leader of the Eternals.
He's not now. No, I think he's either dead again. No, he's showing up in Thor. There's a lot going on, and I read all this stuff 6 months ago. But the Eternals book by Gillen, and I think it was mostly Asad Rabik, was really good.
They just can't keep a book.
No, but I think in this case, they kind of came into it like, okay, we're going to do this for a year, and then kind of end the story with this crossover.
So it was a limited series. They just didn't release it that way.
They didn't announce that it was. Yeah. But I would rather. I mean,
that's to me is smart though, in the way that you can kind of look at it as like, okay, well, if it takes off, then we don't have to be.
Yeah, and I think comics have changed to the point now, for good or ill, that you're not getting there. The days of a Claremont or a Grunwald or whoever on a book for 5, 6, Peter David, for 5, 6, 7 years, just it's not the way to do it anymore. Partly because there's so many options for writers who know what they're doing to be able to go and do other things. I love Grunwald's Cap. Towards the end, he was absolutely out of ideas. I love Brubaker's Cap run. Towards the end, he was definitely out of ideas. It's a hard thing to sustain that for so long, and I guess I would rather, again, like we've talked about with the gaming thing, it's like, I would rather have somebody come in and tell their story, however long it takes. Like Jason Aaron's been on Avengers now for 65.
I kind of feel like all of Jason Aaron shit is just one long Jason Aaron story. The
true,
book,
but yeah, I mean,
the book doesn't matter. It's just
he's
like
been on Avengers for 60 issues plus
over here,
some ongoing, or some longer like side series and stuff like that. And yeah, it is. It's all been one story. It's all still good. And I know he's wrapping up soon, and then he's going to go on to something else. So if you show up, or Immortal Hulk, it's like, I got 60 issues of story to tell.
I know. I love that. I love when someone has like, this is my story to tell. This is
the thing that sticks in my craw is when it's the reset. Then when the new team comes in, like, I'm not necessarily expecting you to just pick right up, but when it's like, okay, we're jettisoning in the supporting cast.
Yeah, like some continuity would be nice.
And I think they're better about that than it seems at times. And there's other times where it's just like, nah, fuck that.
I mean, again, using Hulk as the example, I don't think that team that came in post.
No. That was a very different take on things. And it is, it's just, read what you like, I guess.
Yeah.
Avengers has been great. Fucking Moon Knight, man. Like, this Moon Knight series by Jed McKay. Oh my God, it's so good. It's super fun. And I just, I like, there was an issue where all of the different, all of his different personalities kind of get together and have like a chat or whatever and talk about like what defines them.
So like the old Peter David Hulk stuff when they would do the therapy.
Yeah, but so like each personality, has their own like favorite drink, and like this is like how I dress. And then the latest issue, somebody is killing Moon Knight's old shadow cabinet, which is from like the end of his 90s run, where he's like, I'm going to have this group of informants from across the city. Somebody's killing them, and they're trying to figure out who and how. Right. And his like assistant, who's a vampire, calls him up and is like, I need to talk to Jake. And they're like, he's like, no, we're busy. And he's like, no, seriously, I need to talk to Jake. And so, he switches personalities. Jake is there, and she's like, okay, here's what's happening. And he's like, yeah, I know that. And she's like, no, but you're a cabbie. What route are they taking? And Jake's like, oh, this is where they're going to be next. And he's like, all right, I'm going to let Mark take back over because this glider cape scares the shit out of me.
I love it.
They're like, all right, yeah, you get it. You know, you've got something going here. So yeah, that's been a really good series for me. There's good stuff floating around out there. And yes, absolutely, Mitch. Don't overstay your welcome. If you're out of ideas, don't try and keep going longer than you need to. So
Yeah, tell your story, get out, and if you have another story to tell later, come back and tell it. I mean, there'll be an audience for it.
well, that's
We're
yeah, Slot took a couple years off from Spider-Man. Now he's back on the Spider-Man book.
we were talking about Morrison and the Authority the other day. It was yesterday, maybe. Or the Authority with Superman and coming back because he's like, "You guys are gonna fuck this up. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
You're gonna give me the opportunity to not fuck it up. I'll come back and be your Huckleberry and tell a cool story of Superman and the Authority." I just I mean, that's a guy who has Superman stories to tell, and he
Yeah.
chooses when he's going to tell them. He had a whole lot of Batman stories to tell, and he did a whole lot of that.
Well, and how wild is that? That it looks like Damien's going to be like probably the most enduring thing that Morrison has added to like the DC canon, and they specifically came into that book assuming that nobody would ever touch him again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I have the old Night of the Demon trade,
Oh, yeah.
and the fact that was Denny O'Neil was like, "Oh, this is an continuity later on." The fact that Batman and Talia spent a lusty night together. Oh, also, I think at one point too, they were like, "Oh, she drugged him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, so she date raped, drugged Batman? That's definitely one way to look at it, I guess.
All I could think about when you were saying all of that was Popular by Not a Surf. Where they're like, I think if you're ready to go with Johnny, now it's time to tell him about your 1 month limit. He won't mind. He'll appreciate your fresh look on dating. Once you date him, you can date him again. I'm sure he'll like it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's so novel. What a good idea. You can keep your time to yourself. You don't need date insurance. You can go without with whoever you want to. Every boy in the whole world.
I haven't listened to that song in so long.
Love that song. So good. Not a Surf made they're still making albums.
They're still making albums, yeah.
Yeah, and they're good. It's like I read this article on Spin this morning, spin.com. I used to get Spin when I was in high school, like the music magazine. And it was about this band called Knapsack that I had literally never heard of.
Yeah.
And they were like, they were like emo before emo and like Brand New and all these other bands, Jimmy Eat World, like basically like it was kind of like when Nirvana was like, we were just ripping off the Pixies, It was basically like I listened to this Knapsack stuff and it's like 1994 and they're making records that sound like, Jimmy Eat World 2002 and, like all these other bands. They remind me a lot of The Promise Ring, which I really loved when I was in like high school and undergrad. But I was like, this is amazing. And I'd literally never heard their music before. And I was like, shit, I am in. They made like 3 albums and they got together for like a reunion tour a couple of years ago. And
I think sometimes with that, it's the Briscoes treatment. We are not cosmetically pleasing.
Yeah. But they kind of they looked like every other like kind of 4-dude band. And they were like, I think they were out of California. So it's not like it was, I think it was just, kind of a glut and like they weren't kind of ready for it yet. But like, 5 years, 6 years later, that was like
your parents are going to love it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. But anyway.
I don't know, man. I wish we would have been. I wish I would have been more productive today. But I appreciate everybody coming over and.
There's no expectations on this other than what you're putting on there. I don't think you need to put anything on there.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
We had a great time. I had a great time.
I'm still having a good time. We can keep going if you want.
I mean, what am I going to do besides go back to bed? I did finish Hokkaido last night.
Oh,
What is it called? Mechanical Violator Hokkaido.
wow.
Which
That
is an 80s, I want to say maybe 90s live action take on the Hokkaido villain Hokkaido.
okay.
Which I was like, so the villain got a movie?
Eh,
You know what? It's got a lot of that. I think it's 90s. It's got a lot of that 90s Japanese tokusatsu movie charm to it.
okay.
It's definitely not shy with the story as far as what it's trying to tell you. Especially when the town, it's a post-apocalyptic town called Jesus Town.
Yep, that's what Mitch posted. I kind of goes to Jesus Town.
Jesus Town.
The main bad guy wears angel wings.
Yeah.
All you know. It's not like trying to hide its influence. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm not overly familiar with Hokkaido, but I like the appearance of Hokkaido, the blue and red face split robot Hokkaido guy, and I kind of dug the look of, or no, Hokkaido. I dug the look of Hokkaido and the updated look, like a robot with a perpetual sneer. I really liked. Also, that he shot his amazing shotgun through an entire town, through a building, into a like porthole smaller than a womp rat to blow up a thing to cause all the cyborgs to go offline, so then he could go straight into the main building and fight the bad guy. Which I was like, this is some Kyle Stark shit right here, and I'm fucking here for it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know what. We don't have any games this week. I don't think.
No.
Tiny Mang on the Tuesdays.
And then bad at games. Ooh la la. What am I gonna do for Tiny Mang? That's a question.
Yeah, I got a few things. Now that I'm looking at actual pictures of this Bam Bam Bigelow entrance gear, I could probably throw some detail paint on that.
Nice.
They went pretty basic with it, which I don't blame them. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. But yeah, he's got like 3-4 different colors of in his flames here that is not in the actual toy at all.
So what you're trying to say is they McFarlane did.
Yeah, but I understand why they would have.
I do too.
Because this is going to take a while to paint.
Like, if it's good enough for Todd and his baseball sales, then let's
not wrong,
awesome.
I guess.
Yeah, you know, almost. And then I've got some other painting and modeling and stuff. I checked out early this last week, about halfway through, just because I was still. Well, and yeah, I guess we'll see how late I make it this week. Yeah, but just, oh man, fucking cars, man.
Damn. They are the worst.
Yeah. I mean, anybody want to buy a 2007 Focus with 210,000 miles on it? It runs, but you can't trust the gauge. So, hey,
Hey-o. That's beautiful.
It's always an adventure.
Not in that fucking Dark Knight Wave. That's funny. Well, yeah, I know. Any big plans for the rest of the day besides sleeping for Ben?
I was supposed. Dave said he was going to come into the city and hang out with senior official Rob Page.
Oh yeah.
I was curious if I wanted to
go hunting or
hang out. So depending on what that ends up being, I may do that today. Otherwise, I've got nothing. Nothing specific. So
I'm surprised Dave hasn't started recording any of his toy hunting.
He's thought about it. I know he did one or
a couple times. Yeah.
Well, now that he's Patreoned up.
Yeah, I think you might have done one or two last year, and then like either it just didn't turn out well enough to be worth editing, or something.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's a Patreon man now, so he's gonna have to get that extra content going.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for dropping by. We'll see you Tuesday.
Thank you, Mitch.
As always, you're a beautiful, beautiful boy.
What
BOI.
are you gonna have for lunch, Mitch?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm assuming they're still hanging out for a little bit here. They're just waiting for.
Yeah, I'm not. I got nothing to do. That's not true.
Where's the fam at?
Oh, they're doing stuff upstairs. I think Sarah's knitting and
Mexican, nice. Done. I haven't been out for Mexican in a minute. I gotta do that.
Sounds
Man,
good.
I am hankering hardcore for hot dog.
Hunk of cheese.
For hot dog.
A slice of sour.
Make a run to Pepitos.
That's true, Mitch. Mexican does almost always sound good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I also agree. I do like a good.
Also, chicken wings.
Oh man,
Mm.
love mac and cheese on a hot dog. That sounds like some Dave's Faves shit right there.
I mean, I like mac and cheese with like some ham or chicken in it. That's pretty tasty.
I like it with spicy Polishes in it.
Oh,
I like my spicy sausage. I like a spicy sausage.
he likes them spicy spices.
I do. I had sweet and spicy Gedneys last night.
Oh, all right.
I'm not usually a big what is it? Bread and butter pickle?
Bread and butter,
yeah. Usually not like Mike Jam, but these were bread and butter Gedneys with a distinct spice to them, and it had that slow, like sneaky spice where I was like, these are really good. And then like after I ate the last one that I had in my little bowl, I was like, oh, these actually are kind of hot.
Maybe
Good to see you. Good to see you, Heat.
Is that why you think that might be why your stomach is bothering you today?
No, spicy food doesn't really do that. Which is interesting.
Also, Sneaky Spice is my favorite Spice Girl. You just never saw her.
It's because she's sneaky.
She was always there.
Living her dream.
Back. Loving it.
Living her truth. Oh man. Yeah, we determined the other day that like while we enjoy the menu of Dave's Faves, which is the imaginary restaurant that's just my brother's favorite foods, we needed to make sure that you could have it Dave's way or you could have it your way, because
come on, Mitch, enjoy your lunch.
See you,
Bye, Mitch.
Hasta la, bye. Because Sarah was like, "Oh yeah, I like the idea of like mac and cheese and beanie weenies," and I was like, "Yeah, but they're in the bowl together, co-mingled. That's the way Dave likes it. That's Dave's Faves." And she's like, "Oh, I don't want it Dave's way," and I was like, "Oh, there's got to be Dave's way and your way."
Like, yeah, that's Jersey Mike's. Do you want it Mike's way?
Yeah.
Which means they put a gallon of fucking oil on it.
Yes.
Mm. Would you like? Do you like your sandwiches wet? Because we will wet your sandwich for you.
Depends on the sandwich.
It is a lubricated sandwich.
That is a true story. Yikes.
Not that I don't mind it necessarily, but sometimes it's like, oh no, this is very, very wet.
Yeah. Too wet.
Yeah, sometimes it's too wet.
Too wet and too wild.
Yeah. That's my jam.
I haven't had a good like Italian beef in a while either.
Oh man. I want an Italian beef. I did have a hoagie the other day. We went to Devani's, and like I think that outside of a couple sandwich places kind of here, they're kind of mom and pops, is like the closest to Big Ten on the the U of M campus, or they used to have one on Hopkins, they used to have one on West Bank. But like, you'd basically get like a salad.
We went to one before an ROH show.
We went to that one on Hopkins. And man, their hoagies, used to love their hoagies, and you could get like hoagies and fry, like hoagies and a drink, or hoagies and fries for like $5 or something. Like basically a half hoagie, small fry, and like a a drink. So we used to go over from studio when I was in school and get that like every Monday. And yeah, wrong tone. Sorry, we always. Well, all of us U of M people refer to our own U of M as the U of M. But yeah, oh man. And so Devani's like club hoagie is just about the closest you can get to a Big Ten sub. And oh, I had one of those the other day. We were on the way back from Northfield, and God, that was so good. So good.
They have a turkey bacon chipotle sandwich too that I enjoy.
Yes. All of their hoagies are just like so good.
They're legit. Yeah, they're good.
Make me so happy.
We had homemade hoagies
all.
last night.
Yeah. Ooh. Nice. You said Italian beef, and now I just want to like go get some pepperoncini and like do a slow cooker.
Do a Mississippi pot roast.
Yeah.
I haven't done one in a while. That does sound really good.
Okay.
It's a Mississippi pot roast, baby.
You can always tell when like we haven't eaten much for breakfast at the end of these, because we're all just like one person mentions food or somebody in the chat mentions food, and then we're just like 5 to 10 minutes of just talking about what we are hungry for.
Hey man, my stomach hurt enough this morning. I had an ice cream bar for breakfast.
Wow.
I was like, I got to get something in there that A, tastes sweet, and B, makes this rumbling, tightening unpleasantness go away.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking up that fruit of the nectars that is tea, that is fruit of the gods, that is tea.
Yeah, baby.
With a little bit of honey in it. And I had that sweet ice cream bar.
Nice. They got something from Aldi that looks like a rose on the top, and it's like strawberry ice cream, and then it's vanilla ice cream with a strawberry core and a chocolate like waffle cone with like chocolate on the inside like a drumstick yesterday. And I had one of those.
That's fucking awesome.
It was real good. And we had it with lunch after we got done with lunch, and then we got done with dinner, and they were like, "Do you want anything for dessert?" And I was like, "Yeah, can I have one of those ice cream things?" And they're like, "No, we can only have one a day." And I was like, "What? This is no, you can't ask me what I want and then say no." Like, we got to ration them. I'm like, this is bull honkers. Yeah, bull honkers.
Bull honkers.
So
it's like, God, what did Cassandra have the other day that I was all like, I would take that, and she was like, no, the rest of those are mine. Like, you don't give me more of those. And I was like, yeah, but I bought those for you. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, hey, can I have one of those? And she was like, you already had one of those. I was like, yeah, like earlier in the day, you also already had one of those. She was like, yeah, but you got these for me. And I was like, oh, God. So apparently sharing is not a lesson you've learned.
Means they're mine.
Yeah, so pretty much.
You can't have them.
Pretty much. I will say our Zomboid game yesterday was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug died in the first 10 minutes.
That's always good.
He was like, oh, got bit. And I was like, did you get bit or did you get scratched? Let me check. Oh, well, now I'm definitely bit. Like, why did you get attacked again? He's like, yep, you're getting attacked right now. And I was like, oh, Doug. I was like, I've learned some Zomboid lessons. Let me impart a little bit this to you. Like, don't panic. First of all, find a fence. Second of all, stand on one side of fence. Smash zombie as come over fence. Zombie not smart. Zombie fall over fence. Kill zombie. Also, zombie don't go in house with zombie, or plural zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Say you have house. Keep house. I find food elsewhere. Don't need your stuff, zombie. I come back later when I have better armor.
Oh man.
Also, what a shitty looter. I had to tell him yesterday. I was like, Did you check this? Did you check that? Did you check it? Yeah, I checked it. Well, how come I'm over here now and I'm finding that it's still got a bunch of shit in it? Oh, well, I didn't check that. I was trying to hurry. Like, you cannot hurry with this game, Doug. It doesn't work that way. Now, the best part was at the end, he was like, I think he was just like squirreling to go get into some mischief.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. Everybody loves mischief.
So I was like, well, I know where there is a warehouse in Muldrew. And he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, yeah, we could go to the warehouse, but it's gonna be packed. Like, it's gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, let's just roll up there in one of the cars we have, and we'll just park the car and we'll go in. And I was like, it's not gonna work that well, Doug. But sure, I got a plan. We'll get there, and I got a plan. So, okay. Yeah. So we're driving up, and there's like quite a few boys there, but it's even more like down the street. There is just a horde. I was like, you got two choices. You can either come with me. He's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to go get one of these cars out of this parking lot, and I'm going to go on a zombie killing fucking car ride. Or you can go inside and start looting. And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to go inside. So I was like, all right, you're going to miss all the fun. So I went out in a shitty fucking sedan, just running zombies over in the street for about 15 minutes. Clearing shit out until my car started to die. And when it started to die, I just drove it over to where the double doors were for the building and parked it. I'm like, well, they could try to come in. They ain't getting in.
Yeah.
So, good luck with that, you fucking zombies. And then he was like, oh, I got to go feed the dogs. And then Alyssa jumped off too, and I was left alone. So, now I can't get in the game because my computer's being weird.
Oh, no.
I've uninstalled Zomboid, and I'm reinstalling it again. I'm very upset because it better not lose the game we were in. I had taken over that warehouse quite extensively, and was very happy thus far because I got another vehicle. I filled another truck up, so I've got one like gas truck that's full of stuff to take back to main base, which we made our spawn house like across the street, but we've decided to office, I should say. We've decided to base out of the doctor's office across the street, which is 2 stories. Just haven't found a sledgehammer yet to destroy the bottom stairwell yet. But we're right next to a residential with high fences. So we can use that to cut stuff off. But beside the warehouse, there's a storage unit place. So I went over there, jumped the fence, went over there, and tried to get into the little control room. Had to take the door apart to get in, and there was a boy in there. And he was not excited to see me, and I was not excited to see him. So I lucked out and murdered him. I mean, I literally lucked out on that one. And then I went around and just, started sealing stuff up, getting things ready. So we can go over there because I found an antique stove over there, and I found one in the warehouse too. So now we can survive the harshness of the winters. But I need to find a sledgehammer, and we need to find a goddamn generator. But it's been rough going, man. It took us at least 4 hours just to find a screwdriver.
Damn.
So, I mean, Beard, you've played enough of that game to know, like, if you don't have a screwdriver, you can't take a lot of stuff apart.
No, you can't do virtually anything except for looting.
Well, I mean, you can take some stuff apart with a hammer, but you need a screwdriver to take apart, like doors. You need a screwdriver to take apart a lot of stuff, chairs. So it was like a while before we were finding weird shit too, like wrenches, but no screwdrivers. And this is bizarre. Doug was like, let's just go down Main Street and start murdering. And I was like, yeah, Main Street and Muldrew don't work that way. I know we've played together, and we've raised hell in like Riverside a lot. Zombies are pretty spread out, and I said it, so like the mode we're just using Romero style zombies, so no sprinters.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like the zombie populace in Moldrew is way higher than it is in Riverside. So you cruise up the road to the 2 gas stations and the school, and we're fucked. Like we will not survive that. Like we don't have guns, first of all. Now we could do the death by car thing for a while, but having done that in Moldrew, I will tell you, there's more zombies than you have working vehicles. So we will not live through that. But yeah, so I ran over at the end of my play last night. I ran over to there's like a bar and grill next to the warehouse, like a block over. I went over there and I was just like killing the zombies, kind of kiting them and then killing them, and my ball bat broke. So I had to run over into the parking lot to buy time, get out a pipe wrench, and then go back to work on them. And then I went into the bar and grill and raided it for food and liquors. So we should be pretty good on that for a little bit. But I don't have a stove in the top of the warehouse. That's the other thing is it's one of those warehouses with a second story and a roof access. So I need to get a sledgehammer so I can knock those steps out in case they somehow get inside the bottom story, which should be virtually impossible because I welded metal barricades on everything and I parked cars in front of every access point. And I've got like sheet ropes coming down from the second story. But I mean, I just want to be sure. I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse.
Well, yeah, you got to be sure.
All right, should I paint the white on this dude's bones?
I don't know.
It might help tie in the mask a little bit more, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would make that pop a bit.
Oh, I just realized this particular He-Man waist has got like a pouch on the butt.
Oh yeah.
That's a butt flap. That's a poop flap.
Poop flap.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's the arms. Got a metallic purple now.
Oh, that's
Nice. Very nice.
And then the waist piece.
Nice.
Metallic purple and some mulberry color to match the rest of his armor that I have yet to seal.
If you end up doing the bones on that chest piece, it might be cool to do the piping on that waist piece like white as well. Get a little bone piping, you know.
You mean on like the banding, the metal banding?
Yeah.
bone piping.
Yeah. Bone bands.
I thought about, yeah, I mean, I could probably do that, or black was my other idea, but I don't know. I mean, I think you're probably right.
Yeah. All right. I think I am going to pop off and make some lunch so I can get back to grading. But I may play some Minecraft later, so I'll let you all know.
All right. Yeah, sounds like a
a little breaky poo if you don't end up going out with Dave.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Otherwise, I'm just kind of hanging at home all day.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I checked the garage for some boxes I was looking for, and now it's just figuring out what is next for organizing and selling and all that stuff. Getting some initial interest on some items, so that's good.
Nice.
Pre-sell a few things if I can. Ben, I did check with my friend who might have wanted some of the Motu WWE stuff, and he's going to pass because he can't really afford it right now. So I'm pretty much fine, telling you all of it. There's a few figures that look like they're higher end, but I'm happy to just let you have the cheaper stuff if you're going to do parts with it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just going to use it for parts. So you tell me what you want for it.
I'd probably do, $10 a figure or less. So I don't know what's worth it to you, but I'd probably hang on to it. It'd probably be worth, selling like Andre and Slaughter and Undertaker and stuff individually, but the rest of them don't go for a ton, so I'm not too worried about it. Hogan, for some reason, is expensive.
Which Hogan?
The Rattlesnake Mountain one.
Nah, I'm surprised that Austin dropped in price.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because Hogan's got all that extra bullshit on him.
Yeah. Well, and it was, I think it ended up being an online
Exclusive. Yeah, it was an exclusive.
Yeah, I think that probably caught some people off guard.
Well, it was Walmart.
Well, that's
Walmart. Bye, Beard.
Bye. Yeah, I suppose he said his goodbyes. He's man, these hopefully I can get some interest in these turtles.
Dave likes turtles.
Yeah, he's not gonna buy these, I'll tell you that. I think he probably already he's got the there was some bootlegs of them, and I think he got those. So it's the original NECA like comic style ones from 2007.
Yeah.
And there's the bootlegs, which definitely drove the price down on the real deal, but I don't think you could get the bases, the street bases, with any of the other sets. So that'll give me, hopefully, an upper hand. I'm not looking to, win the lottery here, but if I could get, they go for. I'm seeing card examples going for like $300 for a single.
Nuts, man. It's
for
nuts.
A single figure. So if I can get a decent price for the set, that would be real cool. Help me feel better about my situation.
Well, if there's anything I can do, Matthew,
you are already doing a lot. I cannot express how generous and considerate this whole thing is, and I'm going to continue saying that I appreciate it, and that I also want you to tell me if it ever is getting weird or you're not comfortable with the arrangement anymore. Because
no, I'm good, man. I gotta call insurance tomorrow and
changes down the road or anything. It's a big thing you're doing, so it's very much appreciated. So it'll let me know what you hear on the insurance side, and we'll figure out from there. I'd like to do make the exchange this week, whether that be on Saturday or if we could do it earlier in the week, that'd be fine too. Whatever's easiest for you, I suppose. Cassandra, but we could definitely come over there some night after work once all the insurance stuff is sorted out.
Yeah, I think someone said when I was talking to some friends, they're like, "Well, you might have to add them to your insurance," and I was like, "Oh, that's what it'll be."
Well, and we could take it under ours too. That wouldn't be the end of the world either. So
I think the problem with that is it's under your name as far as an owned vehicle.
Okay. Well, yeah, just let us know. I'm sure as a short-term thing you wouldn't need to do anything, but as a more long-term deal, that might be a bit of a factor.
Yeah, they were like, if it's just going to be like for a tiny bit of time, I don't think you'll need to do that. But I was like, it might be till this time in the summer, and they were like, oh yeah, you want to talk to your insurance.
Yeah, just to make sure. Now, of course, now that we're broadcasting this on the internet, just not tell them that it had been for months, but we definitely wouldn't want to chance anything. I'm right with you there. So yeah, if there's any costs or anything associated with any of that stuff, let us know.
Which is pretty good. I'm not overly worried about it right now. Like I said, I'll call them tomorrow morning. I already need to anyway, and see what we need to do, and we'll get the ball rolling.
Okay. Yeah, and then I'm going in to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. So and then Danny's going to be in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Wednesday or Thursday could work as a possible after work thing without any, like, we'd already kind of be out that direction anyway. We could definitely do Saturday. But
well, like you said, this is something you guys kind of need. So I'd like to get it to you sooner rather than later.
well, yeah, but I don't want to blow up your week.
Matt, this
we-
is you're looking at what my week will probably be like.
Yeah.
The only thing we have is Thursday. We do have somebody coming to give us a quote on the finishing the basement.
Oh, nice. Just that other half then.
Yeah, to make it kind of more, so just to close it and put walls on it, and I would like to. We've been talking about it for a while, and somebody I talked to like a year ago who like came through and was like, "Hey, you guys got any work you need done or anything?" And like some company, and I was like, you know what? COVID's in a place right now where I'm not comfortable with that. So why don't you reach out again in like a year? And they reached out, and I was like, you know what? Actually, we do.
Hey, yeah.
We're now to a point where, I mean, I'm still worried about it. And I was like, you need to wear a mask if you come to my house, but I'm at least open to the idea of you coming into the house and doing work. So,
Yeah.
Since we just had a furnace put in.
Right. No, I mean it would be nice to have that, finished off and.
Yeah, I mean, it would give us some more room.
Yeah.
And I could possibly move my work stuff out there so I'm not working in the same place I am just doing fun stuff in, so it doesn't make it feel so weird.
And yeah, we're kind of in that same boat. I want to eventually get the library, set up so that if we want to work in there when we're working from home, we can. Obviously, that's been backburnered, but I'm still hopeful that it'll be, something we can put together.
Yeah, I think that's the one lesson I've learned this year so far is, plans like that are for not coming to fruition more than anything else. But I at least want to know what the quote's going to be to see if, and it's a free quote, so I'm happy to kind of entertain hearing what they would do with that space, because it's not an overly big area.
Yeah, if they give you a good price, then hey, you know what you're shooting for.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need it to be.
For it.
Yeah, our initial what we wanted to do in that area isn't going to happen. So let's at least make it something where we can. It's right now it's just wasted space. It's just a place where we store some stuff.
What were you wanting to do there?
Originally, we talked about turning it in that where the fridge is making that more into like a bar area, but it's kind of that's great, but I don't drink anymore, and Cassandra barely ever drinks, and it's kind of we don't have big groups of people over anymore, so what's the point?
Yeah, it's not really worth.
That would just be having something that would maybe get used.
Yeah.
So that area was also then going to get turned into where we played D&D. But I don't know if I'll ever go back to playing
D&D
in person. Yeah, just because it's like something was said last night when we were playing Zomboid about I was like, Alyssa, what do you want for your birthday? And she's like, a babysitter. And I was like, well, okay, well, when I was, she's like, Calvin's all vaccinated, and I was, that's awesome. And she was like, really, I just want COVID to end. And Doug started laughing, and then I started laughing, and I was like, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
This is normal now. This is how life is going to be. And I'm not happy about it, but I also am realistic about it. This is the norm now. So I get it's frustrating, but that's the thing when like people will kind of be like, I can't believe you're still wearing a mask or you're not doing all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
And if I did, I wouldn't, but I don't, so I can't. And like just because you think it's over or you want it to be over, it's not over.
Right.
Like,
not in any meaningful way at this point.
I mean, people are still dying. And I know that for a lot of folks, they're like, yeah, but I can't go out and do this and I can't do this. And I'm like, you know what?
I mean,
You're
yeah.
not dead. How's that look? I got some touch ups to do, but
Oh yeah, I like that.
it's a weird. If someone would have, if we would have had like a talk about this in high school and they would have been like, this, there's the potential for this happening. How would you deal with it? Like, I don't know what I would have said, but I never would have thought humanity is this absolutely short-sighted.
Yeah.
Which is, did I just grab the wrong paint? Shit. Well, I guess these shoulder pads are going to be a different color. I'm so surprised. It's kind of the same cognitive dissonance I see when I see certain politicians who are like January 6th stuff. I'm just like, come on, man. Ain't nobody that dumb. But then they get reelected. And I'm like, oh, wait, apparently there's a lot of people that dumb. No one prepared us for this, Matthew. This post-truth hellscape we live in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just disappointing. It's saddening.
But that's the thing is, I've kind of moved past disappointment because it's like, to say you're disappointed in somebody is to say that
you expected.
Yeah, you expected
better. Yeah.
Or like when someone says, so and so has no shame. I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
What fucking gave it away?
Yeah, that's a feature, not a bug for a lot of them at this point.
I don't know. It's something else. The George Santos thing, I think, is like. I just think about like Gary Hart, and like when his shit happened, and people were screaming for his head for adultery, or Bill Clinton, another example.
Yeah.
The so-called moral majority just like screaming for like their immoral behavior, and then it's you elected Donald Trump, and you were okay with grabbing by the pussy, and you were okay with sleeping with porn stars, and you were okay with all this stuff just because you by hook and by crook you got what you wanted, which was Roe v. Wade overturned, even though you did it in such a heinous manner of people. Again, I will use Lindsey Graham as a great example, saying, if I go back on this thing I just said, you have the tape, I'm out. And then immediately within 2 years went back on it.
Yeah. And just know anything.
And I'm just like, you guys constantly keep talking about Jesus, and I don't think Jesus would be super stoked with what you're doing.
Just the constant, lying even, I don't know.
And I don't get it. Like in this latest dude, it's not even like, they're not even good lies. They're just fucking lies. And they mean, they're blatantly like provable. I mean, he's lying about dumb shit, and he keeps lying. I mean, on top of that, he's wanted in another country.
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking to myself, like, how did he get on the ballot?
Well, I mean, that's part of that's the um uh the continued decline of local media, but
But it's also, in some ways, I look at it and go, I shouldn't be surprised, because there was, I remember watching a TYT thing, and they were talking, they were showing footage of a Republican who was talking about Herschel Walker and saying, I don't care if he killed a woman. Or she said,
Yeah.
she said, I don't care if he killed a woman. We need that seat.
yeah,
And I was just
That's-
like,
yeah.
for what?
enact their plan. You know, it's
What is so important that you're willing to, again, you talk about morality. What is so important that you stop being a moral individual? Again, the party of personal responsibility and no handouts and all that. And then it's just, you see the blatant hypocrisy. And I kind of just curious, are they so blind to it now? Is it just that it doesn't it matters so little that they know all they have to do is point out another subsection of society and say, well, these guys are bad, so
here's
let's
the
just
enemy.
get
Yeah.
the other, just drag queen reading hour. That's the next, that's the thing they can point out, or
Yep.
or
Oh, and they just keep going back to the poor as
yeah, I was watching how now they're saying that calling in sick happens too much. They literally had commentators on this week saying that Americans have too many sick days.
But,
And I just keep thinking to myself, like,
well, yeah, some article just fucking people need time to decompress from work, and that's what commuting should be for. And it's like, okay, come on, like,
spoken by people who don't have to commute.
right? Or just stop selling this bullshit. Like, we don't need to go into an office for a lot of this stuff, and that's fine.
It just blows my mind how they've managed to get away with this and how they just continue to push. And I just get this distinct impression that, like, they don't understand that there's going to come a point where they're not going to be able to push any further. And then what? Then what happens next? That's, I think, what I'm real interested in, is what happens when one of these politicians or corporations hits a point where they finally step over whatever imaginary line there is, and how is the public, what is the public response?
Yeah.
What kind of response do we actually see from the public?
I mean, I think we're seeing it. Some people say, yeah, this is bullshit and can't happen, and other people just move the line.
Like, I don't know how much you're up on it, but like what they did in France.
Yeah.
They're just like, okay, well, we'll just shut the fucking power off.
Right.
Fuck around and find out.
I think you've got enough of there doesn't seem to be enough of a consensus at this point, and maybe you'd see it change if they actually did start going after some of that stuff. But it's also like we've convinced ourselves so much of the, like the struggle has meaning and value, and it's like it doesn't in a lot of cases. It's just they're making you do extra bullshit for no reason, for no benefit to you. It's to benefit somebody else.
We are, Spike. We are kind of stupid as a whole. I hate to say that, but it's frighteningly true. I don't know how we got off on this fuck tangent. I apologize to anyone who's watches this or watches it in the future and is like, what the fuck is going on here? A bunch of cis white dudes talking about the struggle. So apologies. I just am very curious about how the world works and how it's going to have to work to continue to even be functional, which I'm not sure it can be. I just never thought we would get to the end times during my time, I guess is kind of is one way I look at it. Like,
well, and it's weird. I mean, there are people who believe we are in the end times, and it's wild the reasons that they believe that.
I look at it as like, I'm more, our planet is gonna be dead soon. I mean, let's just be honest, and we have no interest in fixing it. And the people who are doing it, I'm sure, probably in some way, shape, or form, trying to figure out how they can leave.
Yeah.
Because
you're not going to be able to. And I mean, you're not going anywhere in your lifetime. Sorry.
I just am amazed by it. I am utterly and completely amazed by that. I mean, again, I get it. Money is a thing you need, but how much money do you need? How much money do you need? And like, you're literally killing the planet. You're sentencing us all to death
for your money within your lifetime. Yeah.
I just can't believe more people who are in that inside who see that and know what's actually going on aren't more willing to be like, no, this is done now. We've taken this part of it as far as we can take it. We need to stop. Like, and again, on top of that, when we became so fucking anti-intellectually or science, and it's just insane. It's insane. Anyway, so yeah, I'm amazed, awed, and sometimes really, really, really fucking heartbreakingly disappointed. And I don't know how to articulate that any better.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's just, and it feels like everybody's got so much bandwidth for that shit, and so it's way too easy for that big picture shit to just get set aside because you got more immediate problems. It's when you're in freaking college or whatever, you're not saving money because it's far off. You don't need that, or retirement or that shit. Like, I don't need to think that far in advance. It's too far away. And now, or it's like, I got to worry about fucking getting to work today or getting groceries on the table this week or whatever. Yeah, I get that, the people that they've put into office are actively working to make our lives harder and this, that, and the other, but I can't afford to take a day off of work and protest or vote or whatever. And they know, the people in those positions know that, and that's why they don't want things to fucking change, because they get to hang on to their fucking power and money for however much longer they can, for as long as they're around, and anybody else can go fuck themselves, because they're not going to think past any further than that either.
Yeah.
It's the selfishness. Just, ugh.
Yeah, I just, at the same time, I keep thinking, like, especially the folks who are, constantly, again, talking about their relationship with the big G and the big JC. Like, I've read those books. I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what most major religions believe in. Like, you're kind of doing the shit that is not going to get you into the the good place.
Wow, they've convinced themselves that they are. That's
I just am curious. I'm really curious how.
I was reading an article not long ago about how that stuff, that change started happening in the '60s. Really, this the integration of the church with the that right wing sort of ideology. And of course, it all came out of the civil rights movement. And now we're at a point where you've got a lot of people who are not necessarily actively religious. They don't go to church. I don't know. I don't know what their beliefs are, but they're espousing that kind of Christian cultural stuff, that extreme,
Culture war bullshit.
Well, but that all goes back to those basic kind of church sort of principles and beliefs. Like this, the women as secondary and this
Oh, it's property.
Yeah, so they've managed to integrate these things to the point where you've got people who wouldn't even identify themselves as a religious espousing these, advocating for these very specifically religious things, and then you've got the other side of it where you've got people who are religious using that as the excuse for whatever, or justification for whatever their awful goals and beliefs are. Not even necessarily theirs, somebody else's, because they're being told this is what God wants.
What God wants.
And believing that. What God needs.
Well,
yeah.
God wants chain stores. It's scary when you hear some of those songs and you're like, that song is, I think it's maybe from the early 90s, if not the 80s. And how you listen to the words of it and you're like, oh, this is fucking still frighteningly relevant.
Yeah.
Like the other day when I was, the last time I was out shoveling, I had one of my playlists on, and the song by Anthrax, "Keep It in the Family," came on.
Okay.
Which is about racism. And I was like, this song came out in the mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
You want your own state? I'll give you a state of unconsciousness. It's about how, racists push their racist values and views on theirs, and it just is a perpetual cycle. And I was like, this shit is still fucking the same message is still needed right now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because it's like it never went away. I'm scared to think that it's never going to go away.
Well, there's that whole thing that about the fucking Nazi homeschooling network.
Yeah.
And we're teaching our kids to say, Heil Hitler and shit, and it's like, no, you can't. What the fuck? And they're, that's their. I can't. Oh. And you can't stop people from doing that or teaching their kids that. But to not, I don't know. Oh, yeah.
I look at that and I'm like, I think about growing up and being in high school when Reagan was being elected, and the fervor of the right wing. And I grew up in a very red state. The fervor of the right wing, the anti-Russia communists, the anti-Russian. I shouldn't even say it's anti-communist. It was just straight up anti-Russian stuff we had to listen to, and think about movies that came out like fucking Red Dawn.
Yeah.
All the gun propaganda and all the military fetishization that we've lived through, continue to live through in some cases, and I'm just like, now you're listening to these same people are grown up that I knew who were like all about Reagan, which even I was like, that's a bad idea, even as a youth. And now as an adult, I'm like, and now it's not even Reagan. Now Reagan would be soft.
Yeah.
Your sacred cow would be too
Yeah,
liberal, too
he'd be a
woke.
rhino. Yeah.
And you're listening to like fucking like Matt Gaetz, Donald Trump. These are your people now? Like the fuck happened to you people? Like, were you always that dumb and gullible? Or is this just something where you hit a point where you just felt like this was the only avenue for you? I don't know. It's just, it amazes me in a frightening way. And again, apologies to both present and future, if there are any. So you came on to hear us talk about this Jack Kirby thing we wanted to do, and then I shit the bed on that today. Anyway, Matt, what do you got going on this week? We should probably just stop broadcasting this.
I got
before we end up on a watch list.
I got Tiny Mang on Tuesday. Other than that, my week is going to be me trying not to just go screaming off into the ether, and put my shit together. So again, thank you, Ben. You're
no, don't thank me.
I'm gonna keep thanking you. I'm gonna thank you forever.
You need to.
Well, yeah, I don't. But that's too bad. But
I'm just a dude helping a bro.
Yeah, so Tiny Mag, and then back here next Sunday for whatever we decide we're going to work on. See who's around and what we want to do. What about you?
Tuesday is Tiny Man, and then Friday is Bad at Games, which I don't know what it'll be this week. And then I'll probably pick something, probably not World of Horror this week. Although I will say I had a lot of fun playing that. It's just real intense, and I was not prepared for that intensity. And then Sunday we'll be back here, ranting and raving like some old fogies.
Yeah.
And hopefully getting some stuff done. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching and for hanging out. And I hope you have a good week.
Hell yeah, everybody. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your lives. Hopefully things are going well for you, whatever you're up to.
Bye.